That was fun. And this is our second time hitting record because I had the wrong microphone set. But we didn't do it that long. It only went on for a couple minutes. So we're going to do it again.
The whole intro.
We're going to try to – we got some practice. So we'll get to do it again. Virginia Tech defeats UVA, the sixth-ranked Cavaliers, as the final score of 74-68. Cassell Coliseum was awesome. Noon game, which was a little bit of a different vibe, going in with the sun up, coming out with the sun up. Star-studded week. We're going to talk a little bit about the celebrities or alumni that were in town a little bit later. But in terms of the recruiting prowess, who was on campus today?
Yeah, there were a few really big basketball recruits on campus today. None probably bigger than Juke Harris, who was there. We saw Juke on the concourse with his mom. The students were chanting, "We want Juke." Mm-hmm. I saw his mom tweeting about that. That's awesome. Good job on the students of recognizing him and, giving him a warm Hokie welcome. But that dude's a stud. We walked by him and, you look at his recruiting profile, he's listed a guard. Well, he's every bit of 6'7" at the guard position. Mm-hmm. For a high school kid, he's very impressive. And couldn't have picked a better day to be on campus if you were the staff to have a guy like that here when you knock off UVA. So it was awesome that they got to see that environment.
No doubt. So, again, a quarter one win for the Hokies, 74-68. Get the job done. We'll start with the good and the bad, starting with the bad because we like to finish with the good. UVA grabbed 10 offensive rebounds today. I believe Tech only had 3. That was they finished with about the same amount of rebounds, but Virginia did an amazing job of getting second chance opportunities, especially when gotten a little foul trouble. But the thing that really stood out to me was, aside from how well these are not bads as much as they are, UVA did this really well. UVA did a phenomenal job guarding Hunter Couture for 17 minutes, for 25 minutes. Wasn't able to get any space, wasn't able even to get the ball in his hands. To that point, Tech did a great job guarding the three-point shooters for UVA as well.
Yeah, they did a good job of McNeely for the most part. Kie had a couple, but what are you going to do? They don't really have a Hunter Couture that is only going to shoot threes. I mean, Hunter did a good job being effective in that last 10 minutes. But, yeah, they shut him down for the first 30 minutes of this game. And I turned to Billy at one point and I said, this game's really close, but I have a hard time believing that we're going to win if Hunter Couture has 0. Mm-hmm. So then he rattled off 10 and hit one from the logo just to make sure that I felt better about myself. So Hunter was fantastic in that last 10 minutes. But, yeah, Armand Franklin did a really good job on him for the first 30.
Another thing that UVA did really, really well is, we'll give you, for the YouTube people, we'll give you a visual. We've been doing great with Grant Basile with his back, backing dudes down and getting himself a bucket.
Deceptively strong, Grant Basile.
Not deceptively. Grant bully ball Basile gets what he wants in the paint. But UVA made a point to, any time a big had their back turned to the basket, whether it was Lynn Kidd, whether it was Basile, whether it was Mutz, immediately the double would come, turn it into a steal. They did a phenomenal job on defense there.
Yeah, they're so good at that. And Justin's played against it enough where he knows it's coming. But as soon as they catch the ball and put one dribble on the ground and start looking to go towards the rim, which Lynn Kidd has been really good at this year, they're on you. And there's no team in the country that has better hands defensively than UVA. Justin did a really good job of kind of baiting them into the double and then passing it out, and then the guards can move it around the outside and find an open look. But Lynn struggled with it a couple times, and I think Basile did a good job with it. There wasn't a whole lot of one-on-one ISO ball from Basile today, but UVA clearly made it a point that as soon as Justin Mutz puts the ball on the ground, they were doubling right away, and he did a good job handling it.
Let's switch to the good here. Tech never trailed the game at any point. I believe the game was tied probably like 3 or 4 times early on. Second half, I believe it was tied once. And I guess there's one more bad. Tech just did not close out the half in the way that the halftime score was not representative of how well Tech played in the first half.
Yeah, I was really worried. I mean, I sat there during halftime and I looked at the scoreboard and I'm like, I feel like we should be up 15, but we're only up by 2. Mm-hmm. And that's just a testament to UVA. They always are within arm's reach of everybody. They don't get blown out.
It's also a testament to, I think, one of the biggest game-changing plays in the first half of the game was the block versus a charge call on MJ Collins, where Tech, I believe, is up 6 or maybe up 4. To me, from my vantage point, it looked like it was clearly a charge, but goes the other way. UVA goes into halftime down 2. But again, UVA, you step away from the game, UVA is number 6 in the country because of who they are.
Yeah, they had won 7 straight coming in. So.
Exactly. Tech shot 50% from the field, 38% from 3, another game. Like we've been saying, Tech has played well for the last 5 to 8 games. They've shot really well. That continued tonight. So that was good to see. Tech was amazing at knocking down the threes we needed to have, but we missed a bunch of them that could have probably put the game away earlier in the second half.
Yeah, there was one point we were up 6, got a good look. Padula missed it, rimmed out. And then there was another point in the first half we were up, I think we were up 7, and Hunter got a good look at it and missed. Actually, Hunter didn't get many good looks, but it was a good look for him. And he missed. It would have put us up 10. It was 2 different chances where we could have really extended it a little bit. But then, of course, you miss that shot. UVA goes right down and gets a layup or a dunk because that's what they do, right? They stop your runs and they just keep themselves right there the whole time. But Virginia Tech did a really good job of closing it out in the end.
Tech did a great job getting into the bonus.
Yeah, early.
Really
early.
Halfway through the second half, made a huge difference and made huge free throws. The only one that was a little bit of a bummer. Did Hunter go 0 for 2 from the free throw?
No, he hit the first. The second one rimmed out.
Okay, second one rimmed out. But Tech did a great job. They went 13 of 17 from the free throw line. And as you said, UVA is a team that typically doesn't get fouls called on them because they get the benefit of how well they play defense.
So good at walling off, man. They don't foul you. Like there was one where Basili rolled, Mutz hit him, and it looked like Basili missed a layup, but it was just really good defense from Armand Franklin. They just don't foul, so refs don't call it. I think I talked about this after the first UVA game. They get away with some because of that, but they've earned that reputation of a team that plays really good defense without fouling. So it's hard to get to the line, and Tech did a really good job of doing so, especially that early in the second half to be in the bonus.
Tech did a great job guarding McNeely and guarding Vanderplas. Vanderplas finished with 0 points. McNeely finished with 8. And McNeely was a guy until the end of the game where it kind of got down to nut crunching time and they had to start firing. He had no room. He wasn't able to get the ball. If he did get the ball, he was being suffocated by our guy, John Camden, who played phenomenal tonight. John Camden, it's not going to look like it on the box score. He finished today, I believe he finished with 1 rebound, 1 assist, but he essentially matched the minutes all night with McNeely, and he played great.
Yeah, I think that was intentional on Mike Young's part. Whenever Isaac McNeely came in, he went to John Camden because John Camden's been playing really good defense the last few games, but particularly when you're guarding a shooter like that, John Camden's length and height was really disruptive in terms of McNeely didn't have room to pull up, and Camden, because he's so long, can stand way outside of the camera view and still have his hand right here, and Isaac McNeely can't shoot. So I think that was intentional, and I thought John played a really, really good game.
Both teams did a really good job on the three-pointers. Hunter Couture didn't get his first basket until 10:40-ish in the second half. That extended the lead to 7, and he finished with 10 points. So he scored 10 points in 10 minutes and did a great job defensively.
Nigel Pock style.
Yeah, Nigel Pock style. That's right. Moving on to the crucial stretches. You go ahead and take it with some of the crucial stretches in the game.
I got to say, when Sean Padula got that 4th foul with 7 minutes left.
Ulcers!
I was not happy. One, it was a really bad call. I thought it was a no call.
Well, no, he got 2 fouls in a minute.
I know. And
he picked up his...
the first one was fine. I'm okay with the first one. But the second one, I was just like, okay, that's a no call. And they called the 4th, and I'm like, okay, now what?
Because, it was the tripping one, right? Tripping was the third.
Yeah, like he stood to take a charge. He bumped into him. Sean fell. Yeah. And then I think it was Reese Beekman
fell over
Sean, and they called a foul on Sean, who's laying on the floor.
Right.
Whatever. The point is, they called that 4th foul. You lose your point guard who's bawling with 7 minutes left, and it was like a 4-point game or 6-point game, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be trouble.
So we're not going to be able to score at all, and we have to find a way to get through these next 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he picked up his 3rd foul with 8 minutes, his 4th foul with 7 minutes, and enter John Camden.
We had to go basically, I figured, probably 4 minutes. I figured Mike Young might want to put him back in at the 3-minute mark, which is what he did. John Camden came in and played really well, and most importantly, Hunter Couture, the combination of Hunter Couture and Justin Mutz did a phenomenal job bringing the ball up and running the offense with Sean out.
I got to tell you, we talk about a rivalry and how these two teams don't like each other. There are 2 people who hate seeing each other on these 2 basketball teams. Kihei Clark hates being guarded by Hunter Couture.
Yeah. Cannot
stand it. Kihei Clark played great tonight. He had 17 points. But as soon as Hunter Couture took it over, he was a pest. Kihei Clark was deferring. We wanted nothing to do with Hunter Couture on defense. On the second side of that, Sean Padula wanted nothing to do with Kihei Clark. It's not that Kihei Clark's an elite defender. He's just so annoying.
He's so annoying.
Picking you up all the way from when he gets the ball, bumping him, annoying him.
He must have been doing like shuffled drop step drills since he was walking out of the womb. Like that guy, has defense down pat, picking up Sean.
Yep.
Full court. We say Sean doesn't like Kihei. Sean finished with 22, so he had a pretty good game.
That's true. That's true.
Kihei is just so annoying.
Yes,
I think
he
it's
is.
also just so annoying he's been there for so long. So.
Yes.
But I do think one silver lining of Sean going out was that Hunter was able to guard Kihei because you could slide John Camden over onto McNeely, and Hunter did an awesome job not letting Kihei get to the basket. And that was kind of a big going to the well for them was either getting it to Jaden Gardner or Kihei going downhill, and Hunter completely shut that off. And then Hunter guarded him the rest of the game, even when Sean came back in.
Couple of, I guess one observation too coming away from this game, Tech is now in a position where when Padula picked up his third foul and then he picked up his fourth foul, you turn to me and you're like, I have no idea what we do. And I had no idea. We were just, I guess it's John Camden time. And I think Tech, by overcoming that adversity, gives them a little bit of a chance with, hey, if you have a 6-point lead towards the end of a first half, if you have a little bit of a lead around that 10-minute mark, you can throw Hunter Couture out there. You can throw Camden out there and give Padula a little bit of rest because he's playing 40 minutes every single night. Another thing that Tech had to overcome was MJ Collins getting popped. I don't know if he got popped in the mouth or if he got popped in the nose.
Hard to tell.
I don't know what happened to him. But Tech basically had to survive the last 8.5 minutes with long stretches of no Sean Padula and long stretches of no MJ Collins. While MJ Collins did not shoot the basketball great today, it was another great game of rebounding, another great game of defense from him.
Yeah, 5 rebounds. Only 2 buckets, airballed another 3. His 3-point shooting is so interesting. He'll either go 3 or 4 in a game, or he'll miss the entire basket.
I will say this though,
MJ Collins in the first half though
was awesome. MJ Collins, as a freshman, does a phenomenal job of not taking the no shots.
Yeah, no, he plays well within himself on the offensive end, and he plays phenomenal defense and rebounds the shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're not going to find many freshmen across the country who rebound the ball better than MJ Collins does, and I think it's the large part why he's playing so many minutes. But he played a great game. His dunk in the first half on the backdoor cut right in front of the Cassell guard was awesome. And he had a really tough finish at the rim in the second half coming our direction. We were sitting on the other side from the Cassell guard. So 2 awesome finishes around the rim for a guy that I continue just to be so excited to watch progress.
Yeah. A couple other stats and just things to point out. I thought this was the best game that Sean Padula played all year. And it wasn't necessarily – he's been dropping points all year. It was the least – frustrating game that we saw. He took a couple of heat check threes that Coach Young did not like in the first half. He finished the game with 22 points, 5 boards, 2 assists on 46% shooting. But again, the most important part, Sean Padula finished the game with only 1 turnover. More of this, Sean Padula, please.
Yeah, he didn't turn the ball over. Neither team really did. Both teams under 10 turnovers for the game. It was just a very deliberate game on offense for both teams. Everyone's running their stuff, waiting until they get a good look. And both of these coaches can X and O with anybody in the country. I mean, Mike Young and Tony Bennett, there's not too many people better at drawing up sets and getting people good looks. Out of timeouts, both teams get phenomenal looks. But Sean did a really good job taking care of the ball, and so did everybody for the most part.
You want to talk about Justin Mutz a little bit? I thought, again, Justin Mutz, one of the better games that he's played this season.
Yeah, Justin Mutz led the team in turnovers with 2. That's how good the Hokies were at taking care of the ball. He shot 7 for 11, 17 points, 8 assists to 2 turnovers. So he was diamond. That one that he had at the end there, Basili slipped to the basket. That was a huge play in the game. And Justin hit the little over-the-head flick to Basili for a layup. He played really well, and I think he's played them so many times now where he just knows what's coming. He knows how to handle it. He's so poised. And him and Sean were both locked in all night. Those two needed to step up in a really big game, and they did. And they were both phenomenal. Took care of the ball, scored the ball, played good defense. Those guys did everything. But that was a Justin Mutz basketball.
I was going to say, Justin Mutz looked like himself. Yeah. And, we've said it a few times. He hadn't looked like himself these past few weeks. And that's the Justin Mutz that we're accustomed to, and the Justin Mutz that is, quite frankly, one of the most versatile and effective players in the entire conference.
Yeah, he did a good job on defense, too. There's some tough matchups on that other side. He did it. He didn't have to guard Gardner too much, but when he did a good job. He just really good Justin Mutz game.
Yeah, and again, I think people always get on me for this. I just got to tip UVA, the resiliency that they had from going down 9 several times, going down 6, finding ways to grab rebounds off of free throws. As soon as the 2 missed free throws, we turn the ball over, leads to a dunk. UVA's right back in the basketball game. And until around until around like 20 seconds left, 11 seconds left, it was very much up in the air just with how well UVA continued to fight back and not let go of the rope.
Yeah,
so
we got up like 8, and then Kia hits a 3. And it's like, okay, now we have to sweat for another 45 seconds. Like, they don't go away, man. It's like a heavyweight boxing match.
Yeah, it looked, it quite frankly looked like two of the best teams in the conference duking it out in a huge basketball game.
Virginia Tech's 14-5 with Hunter Couture, 0-4 without him. So when Hunter Couture is on the floor, we saw it for the first 2 months of the season. This is one of the best teams in the conference when Hunter Couture is on the floor.
A couple game atmosphere observations. Teddy Valentine, not a bad Teddy Valentine game.
He's a good ref. He's just so extra.
Well, he had the one where I think he called a block on UVA.
I called it travel.
He called it travel. So he's on the baseline. He starts doing his running up, clapping, gets to half court, hits him with the travel.
Dude, he ran like 40 feet.
He did. Ran like 40 feet.
Call it travel.
Yes. So I actually enjoyed Teddy today. I really did. Yeah, I enjoyed Teddy today.
I thought the refs were good all around. They called a good game on both sides.
It did get ticky-tacky at the end.
A little bit late, but it is what it is. No, Teddy had a good game. He's just so extra.
Yeah, that is true. Teddy Valentine, the anticipation with him is always, always, always palpable. So we talked about it earlier in the building today. We had Chipper Jones, who ESPN said graduated from Virginia Tech, which he did not. We had Justin Robinson was in the building. Devin Wilson, all the way from San Diego. It was great seeing him last night. That was awesome. Got to see Greg Donnellan as well. Packy Naughton and the baseball guys, Ian Seymour, they're all in town for baseball night. Ran into them last night, which was awesome. Last night we had Cabo, we had Sharkies.
For like 30 seconds.
We hit Hokie House, and we hit Tots. That's a grand slam.
Dude, we were out late.
Got back at after last call. Surprising, no headache. Was fully expecting to have a little bit of a hung daddy.
We drank responsibly.
We did. We drank smart. That is true. Aside from that, shout out to Mike Burnup. He was honored for 40 years of broadcasting for the Hokies today. It was probably the longest in-game timeout I can remember. It seemed like a 6-minute break.
That was cool.
Because the first half, they played basketball for like 11 straight minutes.
The first stoppage of play in the game was under 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So they played 7 straight minutes of no stoppages.
The game started at noon. It was halftime at 12:38.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was unbelievable how fast that first half went by. But when they did the honoring for Mike Burnup, there were messages from Coach Beamer, Coach Foster, Coach Young, Seth Greenberg, and honestly, a little bit surprisingly, Coach Williams also had a shout out for Burnup.
Buzz loved Burnup in
he
ways. Did. I wasn't too surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you talk about that if you want to keep talking about that.
I will talk about that. There are some idiots. Right. There are some idiots that I don't know why we feel this way. Buzz comes on. There's some cheers. There's some boos. If you're booing Buzz Williams, you're a clown. Respectfully, stop doing that. Please stop doing that. But it was great. It was great to see Burnup get honored. I really, really enjoyed that. Any other game observations? Shout was horrible again.
Dude, it was bad.
Shout was bad. The volume,
it was too quiet. It wasn't loud.
Shout was not good. We need to fix Shout. They played Every Time We Touch, which was a little weird.
That's for tonight. That's for the Duke game.
Yeah, they played that. Shall we end this with the storming the court?
I mean, I'm anti. I think when you're the defending ACC champs and you kind of pretty much split the season series with these guys, for the last few years, I feel like we've split it with them. Just because they have a 6 next to their name doesn't mean it's an upset. Like, I think Virginia Tech is
still getting used to being relevant with basketball.
Guess, and I get it. Like, storming the court's fun. Like, it's fun, although that drop is pretty high.
Mm-hmm. They need to create a clearer path. If we're going to do it, Rhino or somebody has to make it easier for people to get on the court in a swifter fashion. I had no problem
with the way they did it. Like, they walled off the 3-point line and the students were all in that little arc on that side of the court. I did think it was cool that Justin Mutz led the whole team into the mosh pit. I'm sure that was a fun moment for the guys, as long as no one gets hurt. But overall, I'm not a big storm in the court guy. I think we've arrived enough as a program where we should stop acting surprised when we do cool things in Cassell.
And I will a little bit retract it. I loved seeing the players do it. I loved how involved Castleguard was. Castleguard was on fire tonight. Really, really awesome. Especially
made a huge difference.
A massive, massive difference on the basketball game.
I mean, we lost by 10 on the road to these guys, so you come in here and the home court gives you an advantage, and it did tonight in a big way.
Couple of notes just from the text messaging chain. So this is from Evan Hughes. Virginia Tech basketball is 3 of 4 versus UVA this season, with Kenny Brooks handling business twice. Virginia Tech men's handling business today at noon. That's 6 of 8 over UVA over the past 2 seasons for Virginia Tech basketball, men and women's. Want to talk about a path? Give me your opinion. This path to make it to March. Ed wants to get on the road. We got a 4-hour road back to Fairfax.
No, I'm thinking.
Okay. Keep thinking. This is Yetzi's path to making it to the tournament. Win your home games versus Boston College, Pittsburgh, which will be tough, Miami, which will be tough, and Florida State. Beat the ones that you need to take care of, Louisville, Georgia Tech, and Notre Dame, the 3 worst teams in the conference.
Yeah.
Lose to Duke at Cameron.
Yeah, I think you have a scenario now where we have, 8 left.
Mm-hmm.
Going into today, I was saying 7 and 2. I mean, I like Yetzi's path, but I think you have to split. You have to hope for a split with Pitt and Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is home games, and Cassell's been a huge difference for this team all year. Cameron, I'm never going to chalk up going to Cameron as a dub, no matter. If Virginia Tech be the number 1 team in the country, I'm still thinking Cameron's going to be a tough win. So I like it. But you cannot
screw up.
You have to hold. You have to hold serve against some of these bottom feeders, and I think we will. I think it's going to be a sweaty selection Sunday, but there is a path, man.
Not to mention that doesn't factor in anything that you do in the tournament, and it'll come down to.
But dude, I don't think those games matter
at all. I was going to say it hasn't made much of a difference in the past, but if you do drop a Miami and a Pitt, you're going to have to find a way to win 1 or 2 games in the tournament.
But I don't know that those games matter. That's the problem. Like Virginia Tech going into the ACC tournament last year was kind of right on the bubble, and then won 3 in a row. And we found out in hindsight that if we hadn't beaten Duke, we wouldn't have gotten in. So
that's right.
I'm not sure how much those ACC tournament games matter, but I do think you can at most drop 2 more. Mm-hmm. If you get to 20 wins with the really good non-conference, I do think, and John Rothstein tweeted this earlier, those 4 losses without Hunter Couture, the committee will look at that. They will look at that. And it'll help. And the analytics still favor us in a good way. So get to 20 wins and let's see what happens. But there's been some troubles this year. The Hunter Couture injury, the Rodney Rice stuff. It's all well documented. And if they're able to win 20 games in spite of all that, I think it'd be hard for the committee to keep them out.
Closing thoughts?
Let's go get on 81.
Let's go get on 81. Thanks for tuning in, and we will be back with you.
Big one for the women Monday.
Huge one for the women on Monday, taking on NC State in Raleigh.
I'm fired up for it.
Really excited about it. Had the opportunity to check out the women's game on what day of the week was that? Friday? Thursday. So
that
really
was so
excited
much,
about that.
Dude, students go to their games. It is so much fun.
The brand
Georgia Amore, the one-man press break.
That's right. The style of basketball that they play is so fun to watch.
They're so good.
And this was the first time that we sat 3 rows behind the coaching the bench.
It was sick.
A couple of quick observations. One, the way that Kenny Brooks interacts with his players is unlike anything that I've ever seen. The amount of respect that his players have for him and the amount of respect that he has for them is incredible, and that's a reason why we are where we are. It's also funny that Georgia Amore, at any stoppage time, is coming over to talk to him about something, whether it's getting a new stick of gum, whether it's, why did X such and such happen? What are we running on the next break?
They're playing 20 questions between timeouts. It's hilarious.
Playing 20 questions. Kayla King was great from the 3-point line.
Kayla King,
great defensively.
The swaggiest shooter in Han Hurst.
Yeah, and Tunner was talking about doing the one-leg sleeve.
Dude,
she's the only one.
Kayla beat him to it.
Yeah, that's right.
Taylor is awesome. Liz is awesome. Taylor Soul is so fun.
Guyman's made a huge difference with Ashley Owusu. I'm interested to see for Tech to take the run that we all hope and that they hope and can take. We're going to have to find a way to get Ashley Owusu back involved. And that's kind of been a challenge as of late.
We'll figure it out.
So,
but if you like point guard play, man, watch the girls' game because Georgia is awesome.
Yeah, and if you like the 1986 Celtics, watch Liz Kitley in the paint.
Yeah. Dude.
So
they'll fade away.
That's it. That's a podcast. We're going to get on the road. Appreciate y'all. Have a great week. And winner tonight, Duke, North Carolina?
Carolina.
Carolina.